Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we finish up this legendary month, talking the one, the only bloodsuckers who will come to your dreams at nighttime, who will taste your fine wine of type A or type B blood.
Ooh, yeah, good one.
Who will apparently walk in the daytime, do some figure tricks to get you to lower into them, who will also turn into a werewolf, fuck your best friend, make her her slave while trying to get you at the same time, to do a menage a trois. We are deep, and we're finally ending the third annual Retro Blood 1980s / one very special 1990s Vampire Month. And we are ending it a very elegant way here on the Retro Blood.
Very elegant.
If y'all like awesome camera effects, if y'all like great gowns like I'm wearing myself, alright, if y'all like thespian actors who can do the greatest English accent, I'm looking at you, Keanu Reeves. If y'all like the two men who carried this movie on their backs, Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins, the only reason we like this movie pretty much. And if y'all like that Dracula lusting for his long lost love while having a bunch of side bitches, then this is the movie for you, because the Retro Blood is talking all about 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah.
Some say the ultimate Dracula movie, if I say so myself. J.H. Alison, James Kline, what's happening, Alison? How you doing today on this 5 meeting? How was your trip to where the fuck were they at? They were in Transylvania, right? They were somewhere else.
No, they were in London.
There you go. How was your trip to London this 1992 eve? Huh?
That was great, man. I love this movie.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised that you. I thought you were gonna say something negative about it, but you like this movie too?
Oh yeah, no? yeah. This is one of my favorite vampire movies of all time. Yeah. Now it's not like, super perfect, but it is pretty close to there. I mean, I think what this movie is pretty much recognized for is the effects that they did during this movie from our boy Francis Ford Coppola. All right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of movies that were made. We'll get into a whole big discussion that we're going to be talking about when it comes to Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the story of Dracula. But this movie is one of those movies where I feel like it's a little timeless in ways when it comes to like the cinematography of the movie, because there's a lot of cool effects, cutscenes, aesthetics. I like the movie where it kind of like adds in some history to it that wasn't in previous Dracula films before its time. Yeah, I liked some of the more of the history some of the history behind it. Apparently, this was the closest movie to adapting the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula out of all the movies that were made, before it.
I would say that's true, but a lot of people disagree with that for some reason. Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's true. I mean, obviously, this story, it is, more of a love story, I guess, than the book was. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about some of the book comparisons and everything. But, I know there's some other Dracula movies before this one that were more like a love story as well, too. Kind of like showing Dracula more of like a synthetic type of character. But if I could be mistaken, but I don't know if I am, I believe this is the first Dracula movie to imply that Dracula's origins was him as Vlad the Impaler.
As far as I know, I was going to ask you that if you think this is the first one, but as far as I know,
movie-wise,
this is the first movie where they link him directly to Vlad the Impaler.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, so this is made like right in like 1992. But like I said, so I think the movie's most recognized, like I said, for the history segment of the movie, you know, especially the beginning where we kind of find out Dracula's origins as Vlad the Impaler. You know, it focuses a bit more on a love story between himself and Nina. Very great old school tactics when it comes to cinematographer. Like you can see a lot of 1920 influences on this movie. You can see a lot of like, you know, not a whole lot of CGI unless you count the little blue what is it, the blue little flame there for a little bit.
A
lot of camera tricks. Very great dialogue, at least when it comes to Van Helsing and Dracula himself. I would say the only two things in this movie that are a little lacking, but I think they still have some little charm, is Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean? The young cast. They at the time, you know?
I think Winona Ryder is fine. I think Keanu Reeves just doesn't. I just don't know if he can do an English accent. I think that's part of the problem. The thing about Keanu Reeves is Keanu Reeves has this reputation, especially like on the internet, for not being able to act, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, if you watch, like, he's made a ton of movies where he's great. Like The River's Edge is one of my favorite movies ever, which we need to do on the show at some point. But he's in that, and he's incredible in it.
Yeah.
I just feel like he may be a little bit miscast in this. He may not have been the best choice for this role, in my opinion. But
yeah, so there's something I was thinking about when I was watching this film. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, you and me, Alison, were obviously we do a retro podcast, but you know, we watch it with 2025 eyes sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's correct.
So I was watching this film, and I think the biggest thing that kind of like got me was, and I think it's this little change that Hollywood's done in the last couple decades and stuff, where if this film is made nowadays, majority of the cast would all be English. You know what I mean? They'd be all native English speakers.
Yeah, okay? I agree. I agree that they would be, yes.
So, you know, because a lot of the hot, like, actors and actresses in Hollywood now are majority from, I don't know if they're all from England, but they all have like an English accent. You know what I mean? I would say,
yeah.
There's a couple American ones out there, you know, doing their thing and everything. But I would say like majority, like the newer actors, the newer style actors, or if you're making a period piece like this, they would all be kind of like, you know, from England at the time. So I thought it was very interesting seeing two Americans, you know what I mean, out there trying to do a English accent. And to my conclusion is I think the English actors can do like a better American accent than Americans do a better English accent. You know what I mean? Now there could be some here and there some people that could probably do a pretty good one. But what do you think about that? Like, what do you think?
I just think these are two bad examples.
I got you.
But in general, so okay, let's use what's that guy's name? Andrew Walker, the guy that was in Walking. Is that his name? The guy was in Walking Dead?
Andrew Lincoln.
Andrew Lincoln, yeah. Like that guy. I mean, do you think that he does a really good American accent?
Yeah, I think he does a decent one. There's the cat again. Is that actually Dracula? I heard he could transform into different things.
Yeah, this is. He transformed into this cat and came to visit the show.
Well, he was a wolf guy fucking on that chick, so he could be anything.
I know, that was awesome. That was the best part of the whole movie. Like when he turned into a werewolf and fucked Lucy on that crypt or whatever. That was fucking badass. Yeah. What was I saying before the cat interrupted us?
You're just saying about like if I thought Andrew Lincoln was
Andrew Lincoln's
accent. Yes and no. What's yes and no?
I don't think his southern accent is very good.
Yeah.
Like I think that he sounds like a caricature of a southerner. I mean, but I've seen him do other things where when he's not doing a southern accent, that his American accent is good.
Yeah.
I just don't know about I don't know. I think Keanu Reeves just can't do. Okay, so I was gonna say Keanu Reeves can't really do an English accent, and I'm trying to think of another movie where he plays an English person. He has played English people before, really? But I haven't really watched any of those movies. But there's a lot of the lines are delivered in this movie in really strange ways that I wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he was directed that way.
It could have been. Yeah. Well, he was making a lot of stuff at this time.
Right, and I say that because Coppola comes from the same kind of school that George Lucas does of filmmaking. And Lucas does that too when he directs. Like, he'll have people say things in really weird ways, and like he'll just have them say, like when he directs something, he'll have an actor say the same lines like, 30 times in a row in a different way, and then he'll pick the one that he likes the most.
Yeah.
Which is why some of the lines in Star Wars sound really strange the way people say them, I think.
Yeah.
But some of the things in this movie, some of the lines in it are just delivered in ways that I would not expect the people in this situation to speak.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of things that Van Helsing says, as we'll get to later on.
He was cracking me up, man. Like, if there was like a Loomis character for Dracula, that'd be this Van Helsing guy. He was saying some wild shit out there. Like, especially
I was thinking that
Donald
Donald Pleasant should have played this part.
Oh yeah, he would have been great too.
But yeah, like this parts of the dinner table were fantastic. Like he was great.
Yeah. But circling back really quick to Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
I think people nowadays do like him because obviously he's made quite a amount of films, and obviously he gets better over time. He's pretty young when he made this film.
Yes,
but I think he's kind of known to be. It's kind of like he's kind of like one of those actors that like they don't really like change the way they are. It's like, you're gonna get me in this movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get Keanu Reeves, you're gonna get Keanu Reeves style movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not gonna be like Keanu Reeves is gonna be playing a whole different style dude that he like portrays in his normal movies. He's gonna be maybe a slight difference, but he's gonna be Keanu Reeves in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
But I did hear a fun little story. By the way, people, we're doing this episode a little different than we do other episodes. We kind of want to make this one a little special because this is a really big movie. So we're gonna skip our weekly history segment, and we'll bring that back next week. For all you new listeners out here on Retro Blood, usually me and Alison, we come on here, we talk a little bit about the movie, we talk a little bit about behind the scenes of the movie, we give our thoughts, our opinions, but we also do a fun history segment where we talk about pro wrestling and metal. This one's kind of during big episodes, we usually kind of skip that because there's just a shit ton to talk about. So we're going to be focusing a lot on the movie. We'll get to some of the making of here in a second. But, like I was saying before, one of the things I thought was interesting, which I do want to talk about when we do making of, is who they originally wanted to cast, or who they had ideas to cast at this time. But the studio, the studio was all like, "No, brother, he ain't pretty enough at the time." They wanted to get Johnny Depp. All right, the production team wanted to get Johnny Depp to play this role, but studio's like, "Nah, he ain't pretty enough at the time." I'm like, brother, Johnny Depp there in this role would have been fantastic.
So funny that you would say that, because I was about to say that I feel like Johnny Depp would have been much better in the role of Harker than Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they were going to try to cast him, but I don't know because I just assumed maybe they didn't ask him because of his past with Winona Ryder.
It's possible too,
because they dated for a long time, and then at this point they weren't. So I don't. Maybe that's why. But I feel like Johnny Depp would have been perfect in this part.
And he was a big actor at this time because he already made Edward Scissorhands. So, but some fun stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and like one thing that I didn't realize until I rewatched this again was that to me this movie it doesn't seem like it's as old as it is.
Yes,
for some reason. And like Keanu Reeves was fairly big. Like he had made Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure already.
Yeah,
and he made Point Break already.
Yeah.
Then he goes. And to then he made. Dracula. Yeah, and he does Dracula, but he's not the Keanu Reeves that we think of today. He's not the superstar actor. And Winona Ryder was fairly new at this point. She had been like a teenage actor.
Yeah.
You know, she was known for being in Beetlejuice, but she wasn't like a big star.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that kind of threw me off when I started researching it, like when it was actually made.
Yeah. So, so something fun I would like to do on here on the Retro Blood is also, you know, me and Alison are big fans of physical media. All right.
Yes.
And I want to start doing this every time if we do a movie. I would like to show you all and kind of y'all could see because I actually have a vast steelbook 4K deluxe collection that I've been doing recently. And one of the movies I was watching, when I rewatched this movie, I was watching it from my steelbook Dracula gimmick right here, if y'all can kind of see it. This is for more of the video listeners, audio listeners. Basically, this is the Dracula steelbook that was released on 4K. I just want to show you what it all looks like. You got the little pictures on the back and everything. Got the little inside. I
have a 4K version too, but it just doesn't have a steel book.
Yeah. So I'm a pretty big fan of these steel books. I got a couple big on my collection, especially a lot of horror movie ones. But I think this covers, you know, obviously, you know, we will sometimes talk on the Retro Blood about the posters and the artwork, but I think Bram Stoker's Dracula definitely has very great you know, cinematography and obviously, you know, very great movie poster as well too. Very iconic stuff over here. So a lot of cool extras on there as well too. They have some music video that I was watching for like 2 seconds, but I got bored, so I turned it off.
Is it the Annie Lennox one?
Yeah, the Annie Lennox one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like that song. I think it's the worst thing about this movie, and I'm not really a huge Annie Lennox fan anyway. But you know, it is what it is.
But let's move on. Let's start talking a little about who booked this shit, brother.
Who booked this shit?
Obviously, it was booked by one of the most famous directors at this time in history. Francis Ford Coppola. Did I say that name right? Ford Coppola?
Yeah, Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah.
Obviously, he's known to be doing the Godfather series.
Yeah, I would say that's Godfather 1, 2, and 3 is what he's probably most famous for.
Yeah.
That I can think of. Apocalypse Now, he directed that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he also went on to do some weirder shit in his later life. But he did some fun stuff over here. So there's a couple stories about why this was all happening in this film. So there's a couple things that kind of were happening at this time.
Right.
All right. So Francis, his production company at this particular time wasn't making a lot of like hits. You know what I mean? So they were kind of like, you know, they were like, okay, we need something to get some cash.
They needed something that made money.
You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. So during this, in comes Winona Ryder. All right. And how it works is like, so he made The Godfather Part 3.
Right.
All right. And originally, the role that actually went to his daughter was supposed to go to Winona Ryder.
Right.
All right. But scheduling conflict happened. It didn't work out that way. But they kept in contact. And this is when Winona Ryder still was in contact. And she initially brought James V. Hart's screenplay to Francis Coppola attention.
Right.
All right. Obviously, James V. Hart's screenplay was the, his screenplay of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book series, the old school book series that came out. I heard that the book actually came out right before cinema was like a thing.
Basically, yeah. It came out in like 1897. So it would have been like, I don't know that real movie filmmaking like we think of it today existed.
Yeah.
But they had like the kind of movies that they were showing in this movie. They called it something else. I think in the movie they called it a cinematograph or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it was basically like slides.
Yeah.
Like photographic slides, and then like they kind of put them together like animation is. Well, I mean that's how film works, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what they had.
Yeah, it's like those old school, no sound movies were like a little bit.
Well, kind of, but that was actually on film, though.
Yeah.
This was like, I believe this was on glass slides. Yeah, I think they were on glass slides. But I really don't know. I didn't research. I didn't look this up, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, I'm thinking that's how they worked. So
some stories around here. All right. Basically, the director agreed to meet with the two of them. All right.
Yes.
So this was the director had agreed to meet with her so the two could clear the air after her late withdrawal from Godfather Part 3. Okay. The reason that she didn't go there, like I was saying before, was basically scheduling conflict. All right. And there was the blaze on it and stuff. And I guess at the time that when she got they had to move on without her and stuff, she thought that Coppola didn't like her, but that wasn't the truth. He did. So according to Ryder, she said, I never really thought he would read it. He was so consumed with Godfather Part 3. As I was leaving, I said, if you have a chance, read the script. All right. He said he glanced down at it politely, but when he saw the words Dracula, his eyes lit up.
So he got interested in a Dracula movie at that point.
Because, this wasn't the first Dracula film. Okay?
Well, no, obviously, yeah.
Dracula has been going on for decades and centuries. All right? All different, I would say most Dracula films at least took, I'm trying to say it. They took the ideas of how Dracula was probably from Bram Stoker's novel. You know what I mean? What do you think? More of the lore?
I think that most vampire stories take pretty much everything they have from the 1932 Lugosi Dracula.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And we can talk about some of the differences, but almost everything that we think of as far as vampires go today came from Lugosi's Dracula.
I can see that. You know what I mean? With the big performance and stuff.
Yeah. Or Nosferatu possibly as well. The original Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we get there, I mean, I'll talk about some of the differences in that and where those came from at the time.
So Ryder also explained that what attracted me to the script is the fact that it's a very emotional love story. All right. Which is not really what you think of when you think about Dracula. You know what I mean? Because, that's true. I mean, I would say nowadays we could kind of think of that when we could think of Dracula, but that has to be maybe because of this movie and kind of made it popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's not in the book at all.
Yeah, I know that part.
Like, the concept of that's not in the book. And in the book, Dracula is just like a killing machine. Like, he's just there to kill people and spread the vampire plague across England. But also, I think, too, that so when Bela Lugosi played Dracula, he became like a sex symbol. Like, he plays the bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
But people liked him. Women loved him. Women loved Bela Lugosi. So I feel like the idea that women love Bela Lugosi made Dracula a more sympathetic character than he should have been.
Yeah.
Which was added into all the other Draculas that we've had. Even this version is pretty sympathetic, honestly.
What about that Christopher
Lee? In a lot of
ways.
ways. That's the other thing too, is like Christopher Lee is also probably the second most iconic Dracula ever.
Yeah, I would say so.
And the best person to play Dracula, in my opinion, was Christopher Lee.
Me too. That's probably my favorite Dracula so far.
Yes, absolutely.
That I've seen. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, yeah, I would say non-animation. I would say definitely Christopher Lee is probably the top one so far.
I saw you took your Christopher Lee poster down back there. I just noticed that.
Well, I had to spice up the background, brother, on the Retro Blood, but he's been up there.
I don't know. Yeah, that Christopher Lee poster is badass.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's hanging out somewhere else.
I don't want to derail the subject. But anyway, also, I really think a lot of people don't agree with this, and I'm usually a weirdo in these things, but the 1977 Frank Langella Dracula is really good.
There you go.
And Christopher Lee also made a Spanish version of Dracula that was directed by Jesus Franco, I believe. That was really good. That was a little bit more faithful to the novel than other Christopher Lee Dracula. But anyway, those are all really good Dracula movies, by the way. I've watched a lot of Dracula movies this past year. I watched a ton of them. Yeah, they're kind of banned in the home at the moment because I've watched too many lately.
Watched too many of them. They just keep coming. Hey, they're like endless, man. They're endless. That's for sure.
I know. I want to see that new one too. That looks like a remake of this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'd be pretty interested to check that one out. There were some scheduling conflicts where we haven't been able to see it yet. Maybe we could do our thoughts of it later on. So Coppola was also attracted to the central elements of the screenplay, all the sex, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he wanted to make the picture to resemble an erotic dream, which I would say they did a pretty good job, especially during
they did a good job of that.
Yeah, that Keanu Reeves when he was getting seduced by the three vampire queens. That was fun. To prepare for Bram Stoker Dracula, as the movie will be called, Coppola screened Citizen Kane, Ivan the Terrible, and Chimes at Midnight in the months leading up to its release. Hollywood insiders who had seen the movie felt Coppola's film was too odd, violent, and strange to succeed at the box office, and dubbed it Bonfire of the Vampires. Damn,
weird.
After the notorious 1990 box office failure, The Bonfire of the Vanities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest, like the film, let me see over here. Like, they made it for $40 million. All right. And the box office was a success, but it wasn't like a blowout success. All right. I mean, they did get $215.9 million. So obviously they made the budget back in the movie and everything. But I think this is also one of the films that maybe later on became a little bit more iconic than at the time. You know, like a lot of movies we do here on the Retro Blood, you know?
Yeah.
So this is fun stuff. You know, Gary Oldman, who of course played Dracula in this film. Now I believe I first saw, and let me fact check I know I saw this Gary Oldman in something else before Dracula. For me, God, what the fuck was that film? I mean, he's been in a bunch of shit. All right.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in the Batman? Something in the Batman?
Well, yeah, but he was in the newer Batman movies.
Like
he played Commissioner Gordon in Batman Begins.
Yes, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, because I remember him for those Batman movies. He played the Commissioner Gordon, and of course, him being in this film as well too. All right.
He by this time I already knew I knew who Gary Oldman was. I'd remember him from Sid and Nancy, where he played Sid Vicious.
Yes.
And a movie called, a little known Sean Penn movie called State of Grace.
Okay.
Which is about the Irish. That's a great film. He had also been in JFK this year, the same year, the year before.
Yeah.
This movie came out, playing Lee Harvey Oswald. So to me, he was like a known actor. Like he was like one of my favorite actors at the time. And the fact that he was playing Dracula, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I thought his character, I thought he did a great job on the accent of Dracula, the look, the presentation, the feel. There's even that funny little, like, did you see that little behind the scenes shot of him and Francis getting into it on set one time and he walked off?
No, I haven't seen that. That sounds fantastic though.
Drama on set. Where we ever heard that before?
Yeah.
All right.
Never.
So Gary Oldman has stated that he never considered Count Dracula to be a bucket list role for him. All right, but regarding the main reason he agreed to the role, it was an opportunity to work with Coppola, all right, who I consider one of the great American directors. That's basically his main reason. He's like, I want to work with this guy, which we heard from actors before. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel that, bro. If I was an actor, I would be. I don't give a fuck what it is. I would be begging to be in a John Carpenter film. I don't even give a shit if it sucked. Yeah. Just to work with that guy because I love so much of his films. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of people
play
out
any
there.
role. Yeah, absolutely.
So I can feel that. Especially, sometimes you just do stuff just to work with the guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel that. He also said that it was my first big American movie at the time. And it made on a big sets with lots of costumes, which there was. By the way, the costumes of this movie were fantastic. Apparently they were designed by this kind of like this Asian artist, which we'll talk about pretty soon. But man, like that was a cool aspect of this film I thought as well too, because a lot of the outfits on older Draculas would be like more like medieval style, but this guy he kind of like mixed in a little bit of the Asian culture, the geese and stuff on there with it. I thought it was really cool. Like the outfits.
Yeah, the costume in this is great.
Yeah.
Like everything in the way it looks is fantastic. But if I'm not mistaken, a considerable amount of the budget of that $40 million was spent on costumes.
Yeah. So, yeah, because another little fun fact before we get over to what Gary was saying. Apparently, when he wanted to do this movie, he kind of wanted to make everything kind of like bare bones in a way. Like he kind of wanted to make it more like it looked like a theater play. You know what I mean? But studio's like,
weird.
No. He's like, no, brother, we ain't doing all that. We're gonna give you some sets to make this movie big. So,
because if they'd done it like that, it would have looked like the 1931 Dracula. Because that's basically a film shot version of the stage play.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, this was definitely the right way to go.
Yeah,
for one time, the film company was right. The film studio was right.
Yeah. So he also said, for a young actor, that was a tremendous experience. He said another reason why Oldman wanted to play Dracula was because he wanted to say, "I've crossed oceans of time to find you." One of the great love lines of all time. If y'all are having
That's fantastic.
If y'all are having trouble with your female or male, we're not judge, companion, all you gotta do is say that line with some chocolate and get ready to rumble, brother, because you're all good to go.
Yeah, that line was great. This script is fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. And he did have a lot of good lines in there.
Yeah.
And to him said is the word playing the role just to say that line. So I like that. All right, so we have Christian Slater, all right, was offered the role of Jonathan Harker, but he turned it down, a decision he later regretted.
I bet so.
As for casting Keanu Reeves in the role, Coppola said of his casting choice, "We tried to get some kind of like a younger idol. That's the big thing that they were trying to do. They were trying to. The main reason Keanu Reeves really got cast this movie was because of his young looks and the youngness. They thought it would attract a lot of young people to the movie.
Yeah, they were trying to get like young stars or young people that were about to be stars, which they did.
Yeah. So he also wanted to, he wanted to give them the role of Jonathan. He said if y'all were going to go to the airport, Keanu is one of the ones that the girls would just, love. He'd be like a Beatle. You know what I mean? They would go out and take his picture and everything. Coppola stated that Reeves worked harder on his accent than most people realize. He tried so hard. Yeah. That was the problem, actually. He wanted to do it perfectly, and he's trying to do it perfectly. It came off as slighted, kind of like, a little bit weird.
It was really strange.
He said he tried to get him to just relax with it and not to do it so, frantically. So maybe I wasn't as critical of him, but that's because I liked his personality so much. To the days he said to this days he's a prince in my eye. So there you go.
So basically what he's saying is he likes Keanu, so even though it wasn't great, he was like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah. So I just want to talk a little bit about, we touched on it earlier, but some of the costume designs. So the designer, if I don't fuck up his name like I usually do, Iko Ishoka, was given immense freedom to design not only Dracula's clothes but also his own like personality clothes. So Iko dedicated that Dracula would be male and female, old and young, ugly and handsome, and animal and human. All right, so he wanted to kind of like make it all like at once. And the funny thing is too, apparently Iko didn't really know the whole lore about Dracula, so he was kind of like, just I guess whatever you envisioned off the script is kind of like what he was doing for like costume designs.
All right, so he wasn't really familiar with the character of Dracula.
Yeah,
weird. Okay,
but that's actually pretty good because I mean, like the cool part. I mean, one of the most iconic looks of Dracula was at the beginning where he had his Vlad the Impaler armor on. That's some of the coolest fucking armor I've seen ever.
That's the only thing I like about the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
The Vlad the Impaler stuff I don't like at all. Everything after that's great. But the armor he's wearing as Vlad was fucking fantastic. That shit's beautiful.
You don't like him stabbing the cross and blood pours out of it, brother?
That part's cool. I just don't like the concept of connecting him to Vlad Vlad Tepes. I just don't like that. Yeah, go ahead.
So speaking of that, all right, and I believe I do got this kind of right. So speaking of Vlad being, Tepes and everything, I believe the Konami video game series Castlevania actually in their Dracula is supposed to be mirrored the Bram Stoker's Dracula. All right.
Okay.
Because there was a parts of the video game where they actually incorporated some characters from this movie on to the video game franchise. All right. Okay. So that's why certain parts of the Castlevania series actually ties in and took a lot of inspiration from Bram Stoker's Dracula, both the book and the movie. All right. So I always thought that was really cool. Like you can literally if you look at that, I'm doing some of this on the top of my head, but there's some video games where you could literally you go from here, you could play one video game, you can watch a Dracula movie, and then you can play another video game, and it will reference the movie and what happened before, part of the Dracula stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really interesting. One thing that I'll say that might be surprising to some people is I've never actually played a Castlevania game.
What?
Ever. Not any of them ever. And I've never on Netflix either. I don't know really anything about Castlevania.
Oh, I know. I know a pretty good amount.
I mean, I know you talk about it a lot when we do the vampire movies, but I don't really have much of a frame of reference because I've never played any of them. But I don't know. Maybe I'll play one. Which one would you recommend?
The one I recommend first for all newbies is always Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's always that's the easiest one to kind of play, and it's also the most fun in my opinion. The other ones are kind of like that Super Nintendo style or whatever. It can be a little tough. But there's also Castlevania. The one before that is actually pretty good too. Castlevania X, he used to be called, or in something else now too. So the Castlevania nerds are gonna be like, "What the fuck? You don't remember?" It's been a while, guys. I went down the Castlevania rabbit hole many times. Okay,
right.
But I do know for a fact there is a game in between that you could reference Bram Stoker's Dracula in between it. Like they kind of count it for their canon a little bit because of the Harker and the way that their Dracula is too on that game is very similar to how this Dracula is. Yeah, because the Dracula in the game could even turn into a big wolf as well too. He does that on Symphony of the Night. Obviously they don't bring up the whole Alucard and stuff like that, but yeah. But all right, another fun stuff. Okay, is let's see. Let's talk a bit about the filming. All right.
Okay.
When it comes to the fun stuff like that. All right. Due to delays and cost overruns on some of the Coppola's previous projects, such as Apocalypse Now.
Yes, they went way over budget.
And One from the Heart. All right. Coppola was determined to complete Bram Stoker Dracula on time and on budget. Because they had to. Remember, they were bleeding money at this time.
Kind of had to,
for the studio. To accomplish this, he filmed one soundstage, avoided potential troubles caused by inclement weather. Too much drinking, brother. All right. Too much pumpkin beer on here.
Too much pumpkin beer. So basically filmed it indoors so that it didn't rain or whatever. Yeah. So
it says, while preparing to play Dracula, Oldman took lessons with a singing teacher in order to drive his voice one key lower. All right. Coppola brought his principal actors to a 1,700-acre Napa Valley winery and estate for improvisation and exercise. So that's one thing I want to talk about, which they actually talked about on the making of. So Coppola had this thing where he wanted to get all of his actors and stuff together and do fun things with each other. Okay. Like do fun things and hang out and have activities and stuff with each other to build more of a bond on screen with each other. All right. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea, kind of to do that. You know what I mean? Get everybody comfortable with each other. So, is your cat? He's on taking over, huh? He must love Dracula.
Here, he does. Here, I'll put him down. Come on, buddy. Go down on the floor. Oh no.
So let's see what we got here. So there's a bunch of stuff. This one's fun. In 2020, Ryder also stated that Reeves and Hopkins once refused Coppola's direction to verbally abuse her to make her crying during a scene that required an emotional reaction. All right.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to, because back then, man, like they would try to get that real reaction from you. You know what I mean?
Especially like Coppola comes from that kind of school of directing, like that kind of. He worked with a lot of method actors, and that's kind of like.
Yeah, but
Coppola, what a lot of those guys did.
Coppola, of course, denied this. All right.
Of course.
And the situation of him instructing Oldman and his character to whisper improv words to both her and other actors on set to scare them. Ryder agreed with Coppola, and a spokesman for Ryder stated that he asked the actors and characters to say horrible things to Winona has a technique to help her cry for that scene. Although the technique didn't work for her, she loves and respects him and considers it a great privilege to have worked with him. So, there's a whole thing about the special effects, but that would be like a whole podcast itself. But there is some great special effects on here. Just the way they did everything. I know there's a whole breakdown of how they did the train scene, which is pretty cool. There's actually so many effects on here that Coppola forgot how they did some of them, which I thought was pretty funny. Another thing I really want to talk about, which I think is rare nowadays, but this movie right now, this particular movie has a fantastic score to it.
It does have a great score, yeah.
I would say it's probably one of the best. Yeah. I would say it's one of those scores that you could listen to it on its own, and it'd be a great, especially for background music, party music. You know what I mean? Very soft listening style music. It's a great scoring music. The film was scored by, oh boy, Wojciech Kaller.
That's as good as I'm gonna get. I have no Wojciech. Wojciech is definitely correct on the first one.
But yeah. Definitely very, very fun stuff. Obviously this movie has, tons to it. Merchandise. You know what I mean? It has, obviously VHS, Blu-rays, DVDs, 4K steelbooks, T-shirts, mugs, everything. You know what I mean? It's one of those timeless movies, I would say. But before we get into the review, Alison, I wanted to ask you, and we said we would do this on the show, and I don't want to forget about it. What do you think of the battle of the 90s vampire movies? There's some other ones out there, but the two most popular ones is obviously this one and Interview with the Vampire. What do you think about the battle?
No, this movie's better. This movie's better than Interview with the Vampire. Absolutely.
Okay. So, due to the success of this film, though, that is the reason why in the 90s we got a plethora of like Universal horror films, basically. Because I believe they in this year we had a werewolf story. I believe we had a mummy story. We had some more Dracula movies. Obviously, we got Interview with the Vampire coming out. So this movie did jump kick the love of making Universal horror films again, which is pretty cool.
That's true. Yeah. And then James Hart went on to write that Frankenstein movie with Robert De Niro was in a couple years later. Yeah, he went on to write that. So yeah. And we got a shit ton of like vampire movies during this era too.
Oh yeah,
just of not even other Universal monsters, but just vampires. There was a ton of them.
It's crazy, man. Didn't we get the Lost Boys? Or was that the 2000 stuff? There's some Lost Boys sequels that I would love to do sometime because they're so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I bet they are ridiculous. But we would get Interview with the Vampire, John Carpenter's Vampires. Those are the ones I can think of.
There's a bunch of them, man.
Yeah.
Besides putting everybody in space, because of this movie, we all went back to the classics. Do vampire stories, Frankenstein, werewolf stories, mummy stories, all that fun stuff. So it's very interesting how one franchise or one movie can like spark. You know what I mean? The studios like signing up on other stuff. It's really fun how that works. And I do feel like nowadays in these what do you call it, middle 2000s or whatever. I feel like we are getting the resurgence again of classic horror tales.
We seem to be, which is cool. I'm glad that we're getting that back.
Because obviously we got the Robert Eggles? What was his name? The guy that did Nosferatu recently.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about, yeah.
So we got his Nosferatu film, which is fantastic. I love that film. Obviously, we got the new Frankenstein that's on Netflix now. I thought that movie was really fun as well, too.
That was good, too. That was fun.
And I believe the Robert guy, he's coming back. I think he's making a Wolfman story.
Ooh,
So
I
that should
love
be
werewolf
really fun.
movies.
Yeah.
And then we got Luc Besson's Dracula, as we mentioned earlier.
Oh, and we got
which
this
came
new
out.
we got this new Frankenstein story with fucking Batman himself in there. Fucking what's his name? I'm gonna yell at people on set when I'm in the Terminator guy. Yeah, I'm talking
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale, yeah. He's Frankenstein. And it's called like the Bride of
Really?
Frankenstein and stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. So
That's weird.
yeah, a lot of stuff coming with this stuff. So really fun stuff. I feel like we will be here, we will not be here. I feel like the classic horror movie monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, Werewolf, Mummy, those movies are going to live on through time. You know what I mean? I mean, they've been going on since like the dawn of movies, and they're just going to keep going on before all of us are here and gone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they keep going. So
100 years from now, they'll still be making Dracula movies.
Exactly. Speaking of that, let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into the full review of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Let's do it.
Their names are legendary. Their destinies linked. An ageless myth meets an uncompromising master. Francis Ford Coppola brings an undying legend to life. Dracula. Beware.
All right, so we start off with some cool Anthony Hopkins dialogue.
Yes.
He needs to dialogue everything, brother. You know what I thought was funny, though, and I just remember this now? Apparently, like, this is not the first time we'll see Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman on screen together. Like, isn't that Gary Oldman in part of the Hannibal?
He's in one of them.
Yeah. So, they're on screen
He's
together.
in the one that's called Hannibal. But yeah, they would be in that movie together. Yeah.
They're back, brother, back together. All right, so it's 1462. Vlad Dracula. Vlad Tepes. All right. He's returning to a victory for his campaign against the Ottoman Empire. All right. To find his beloved Elizabeth has committed suicide.
Yeah.
All right. So this is when we got a lot of cool scenes. We kind of go over like Vlad, like he impaled people. We have some really cool imagery of him impaling people. We have him going to fights. So basically, Vlad at this time is he's his house and everything is fighting the Ottoman Empire, and he's kind of like he's like kind of protecting Christianity. Like he's a Christianity fighter. All right, at this time. So what happened is during one of these battles, like this is actually some of this stuff actually happened in history when it comes to the Vlad character. Like I believe, obviously, Vlad was a house that protected the religious, Christianity. He was fighting. I think he was fighting Turks, not Ottomans. I could believe. And there was a point where the enemy actually shot an arrow through the castle. But in the movie, it said that Vlad died, and that's why Elizabeth jumped out. You know what I mean? Onto the river and killed herself.
Yeah.
In real life, it was like Vlad got captured, and she kind of like did the same. So that's why he named the river after her. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's right because the Ottoman Empire was from Turkey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They were Muslims from Istanbul, from around Istanbul, and they so yeah, Vlad was protecting Christianity essentially.
Yes. So in the movie, he comes back, and the priest guy was like, "Hey, she committed suicide, so she's not going to heaven, because the religion was the God would, you would have to die naturally or something, because that's God would do it. You can't kill yourself. If you kill yourself, that's taking God's privilege of taking you, so you would not go to heaven and stuff." And he was pissed off because that's his wife and everything. So he was so mad that he took his sword and he stabbed it into a cross, and then it became The Shining, where all the blood flowed out.
So it started bleeding. Yeah.
I thought that shit was metal as hell. Like if I if I had a black metal band, I would have that as my intro. You know what I mean? Fucking blood all over you and shit. So then he just kind of vanishes, and he becomes a vampire somehow from doing that. All you gotta do out there is you gotta find a cross. You gotta first you gotta be a religious soldier. You gotta deny your religion. You gotta stab a cross. It bleeds, and you're automatically a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, I just assume that it's like a curse that he got. They don't really tell us.
It's pretty much a curse.
I assume it's like a curse.
Yeah, denouncing God and stuff. He's a curse. Blah blah. Yeah, we got it. All right, so Vlad, obviously he renounces God. Okay, he's declaring his wife will rise from the grave to avenge Elizabeth, and with all the powers of darkness. And that's when he stabs it all, and he becomes the vampire. All right, so now we're in 1897. This is when we meet Jonathan Harker. All right,
Harker. Yeah.
Oh, Harker. My bad. Well, he was hacking up some stuff.
He was.
All right. He is tasked to go to Transylvania to talk to Count Dracula as a client for his colleague R.M. Renfield. Okay. Now, what I do like, all right, I always like this. You could pretty much mirror Nosferatu, and Dracula has like the same movie. It just Nosferatu looks different. That's about it. Like,
you mean the original Nosferatu?
Yeah. Well, the original Nosferatu and Dracula's story are very similar to each other.
Well, yeah, Nosferatu was a non-copyrighted movie version of the Dracula book.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about that is that so Nosferatu shouldn't exist. Like, we shouldn't be able to watch that because Bram Stoker's widow sued the filmmakers of that, and they were all supposed to be destroyed. But the only reason we have that movie is because there were some movie theaters that didn't destroy their prints of it.
Yeah.
So that movie's not supposed to exist. We're not supposed to be able to see the silent version of Nosferatu. Yeah. But yeah, they are basically the same story, which is where that movie is where Dracula being killed by someone, because that's not in the book. In the book, he can walk around in the daytime. He's just not very strong, as he does in this movie.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of explained that it's explained that he can walk in the daytime, but he doesn't have his full powers.
Right, exactly.
So Jonathan Harker, he works for R.M. Renfield, which R.M. Renfield basically right now has become like the servant of Dracula, like kind of like his familiar. All right, he's been taken over from him. All right, he's an insane, and he's an inmate at Dr. Jack Stewart's asylum. All right, so this is what we see. Jonathan travels to Dracula's castle in Transylvania to arrange Dracula's real estate acquisitions in London. So in Nosferatu, it's in Germany. So I just like how they change like little things. This was so funny. But this is when we get the cool train ride. He's about to be he's married. He's basically engaged, okay, to his fiance
Nina.
Nina. We run on his character. He's basically just trying to go over here. It's going to be a big opportunity for him. It's a big sell and everything. So that's why he's going over here, and he's going to be gone out a month. All right, to kind of get this going. All right. So this is where he meets Dracula. All right. And so I like this scene. I actually thought this scene in the newer Nosferatu was like fucking cool. Because and I agree with this. Some of the critic about this film, which is, generally Dracula is supposed to be like a horror story. You know what I mean? In a way.
Yes. Right.
This story it had horror movie elements, but it really wasn't scary at all. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, or it didn't have that like creepy gothic feel. It had the look, but it didn't have the feel. You know what I mean? Of being like, there was some kind of creepy stuff where obviously he's getting seduced by the three witches and everything, but it didn't have that like atmosphere, like creepy look. I thought the newer Nosferatu film had that really cool, creepy atmosphere look. And one of my favorite scenes from that movie is when we have the character get picked up by the horseback. All right, so which happens in this one. So it gets hitched up in the horseback. Obviously, you can feel like there's some stuff going wrong and everything. So we have the really cool looking Dracula creepy arm getting to him and everything. And this is when he sees the blue lightning that was never explained in the movie, but apparently it was a big book storyline with the blue flame. Do you remember the book storyline with the blue flame?
No, not off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I've read this.
Well, apparently the blue flame was explained in the book that it was supposed to be like every so often the blue flame would show you where buried treasure was. All right, so you would have like these minions go find this buried treasure, and you had to put some stones around it for like it not to haunt you. So it was apparently supposed to be a Romanian like tale, like a little folk tale that they added into the book. So this is when we have Jonathan meeting Dracula, where Dracula kind of explains his whole lineage of being part of the Vlad's lineage and stuff. And I like it when he gets really pissed off and he pulls the sword on him. That part was pretty cool. All right. And then now he's talking a little bit about, why he's trying to get these houses and stuff in London. And this is when he sees a picture of Mina. And this is when we could see that he's actually infatuated with Lena, because he's all talking about this romantic stuff. Like, have you ever believed that, you could find somebody from space and time? Yes, I've gone through the earth to look for the souls of the women I love. All right. So basically what it is the Mina character. She is basically she's like the reincarnation of his dead wife a long time ago, Elizabeth, basically.
Right.
So I'm not really sure how, but I guess that's just the way stuff is or something. So
yeah, and I'm guessing she's named Elizabeth after Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
So Dracula leaves Jonathan to be fed upon his brides, which is a cool scene. All right.
One of them is Monica Bellucci.
Yes.
Before she was famous.
Yes, and I
she was before. Yeah.
Wasn't she in the Matrix with him?
She was in the second and third Matrix movies. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Years later, obviously.
Yeah.
But
so cool. This scene was really cool. I really liked the Dracula brides and when they seduced Jonathan's character.
Parker.
Yeah.
I thought they looked great. Like the way they come up out of the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you get the reveal that one of them, they're like two put together.
Yeah, two put together. Because like Dracula kind of like goes in there and kind of wishes them away.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was super cool. Like that, like I said, there's a lot of cool scenery and a lot of good like imagery in this film. So this is a cool scene too. So this is when he's sailing. Obviously, he has to sail by boat because he has to put a lot of his dirt in his land, because it's explained that Dracula could only really live in these areas if he has a part of his homeland soil with him. All right, which is the same thing that was in Nosferatu as well.
And in the book, but which is kind of weird because I guess the 1931 Dracula is where we get the concept of Dracula sleeping in a coffin.
Yeah.
Which came from the because the reason he has those is because he can only rest on his home soil.
Yeah.
So he has boxes of soil in the book and in the movie.
Yeah.
And then he sleeps inside these boxes essentially.
So he's transferred to Transylvania with all the soil, taking up residence at the Carfax Alley, which he recently purchased. All right. And I do like it where they do show you some of the stuff on the ship, which is also like a small chapter within the Bram Stoker Dracula, where he kind of takes over the ship and everything and attacks the crew. And there was a movie made about that I actually thought it was pretty fun. The Last Voyage of Dunkirk or something. I thought it was a pretty
I haven't seen that either, but I need to watch that. The whole movie is the part where they're on the ship. Right?
They're on the ship. Yeah. So in London during this time, Dracula is doing his love hypnosis, all right, and seduces Mina's best friend Lucy. All right, so basically we get scenes of Mina and Lucy's relationship. Lucy, okay, was actually played by oh god, what was her name? Carl Marsha. All right, no wait, hold on.
Sadie Frost.
Sadie Frost, yes. That was for the 1952. I think she thought she did a pretty good job.
She was great.
Like, I thought her English accent was great. I thought her character was like I thought her character was really good for like the time period piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Sadie Frost is English, so
yeah. That's
why her accent was good. So she is. That was her natural accent.
And so she, out of the two, she was more on the loose side of wanting the male attraction.
Oh yeah, because she was all about that.
Yes, because she was basically, she was like, she had a couple of dudes in mind to flirt with them. Okay, she would have a couple of them. She would have Quincy Morris, would be one of them. Dr. Stewart, along with her fiance Arthur Hollinwood. All right, and also too we had the Harker guy. Okay. So basically, they're all best friends, and we can see like the kind of connection between all the characters that way. All right.
But speaking of accents, but yeah, Quincy Morris is from Texas.
Yes.
And he has the most ridiculous like Texas accent I've ever heard in my life.
That's a great Texas accent, bro. You didn't like the? Let me see that big thing. Oh, it's so big. And it's his knife. He's like, yeah, I'm from Texas. It's a great knife.
And the whole like, oh, my dear little girl.
I like it when he's like.
It's just absurd. It's ridiculous.
My favorite part of that is she's all like, well, we've been talking for a little bit. How about I get you a smooch? And then the guy walks in and he's like, oh, shit, I didn't get it. All right. So basically what happens is so there's a couple things going on. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously Mina, she is waiting for Jonathan to come back home, but the trip's taking longer than she thought. You know what I mean? And the thing is, right now, Jonathan is not able to bring her letters because they're getting. Well, actually, no. Sorry. Dracula made Jonathan write her 3 letters.
Yes.
So she wouldn't worry. Okay. But those 3 letters were all lies. Okay.
Right.
And basically, Dracula is keeping Jonathan at the castle to kind of like drain his lifeblood or whatever. And that's when Dracula is making his way to London right now. And the closer he gets to London, the more he can use his power of seduction. So before I don't think he was trying to like actually seduce Mina. I think he was trying to find her a little bit more like naturally ways. But I guess he was trying to seduce the friend first to like what I wasn't really sure. Why was he going after the friend?
So so there's a lot of really weird behavior in this movie, which I think is like a combination of like trying to retell the book story plus add this romance element to it.
Yeah.
See, if you don't have the romance element in this, everything else that Dracula does makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're coming like you could come at it from like, well, he's trying to like romance Mina. Like, why would he go after the other girl? Because in the book, the whole Mina romance never happens. He does try to convert her to a vampire, but he does it he basically forces her to do it. So basically, he's just like using the blood to become young again. Yeah. Because the book is the same way. So he starts off old and then he becomes young once he gets to London or he gets to England.
And they totally killed out the baby. Like, didn't he used to go after like kids in Transylvania? Like I heard.
Well, no, kind of. Yeah. There's a book. There's a part of the book that's in this movie too, where he gives the wives a baby to eat.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure in 1897 that was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he gives the wives a baby to eat, and that's also in this movie too.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it just kind of showed like the animalistic nature of Dracula because, at first he's slowly seducing Lucy, okay? Where he gets her out in the forest, everything is raining and everything. And
it's not real slow. Like it happens like pretty immediately.
Pretty
like
fast,
he pretty much jumps off the boat as a dog.
Yeah.
And then like meets her in the cemetery and they fuck.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, basically.
It's implied it's the same day. It's implied it's the same day.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he just seduces her, gets her out in this little forest area that they were walking around earlier. He starting to mac on her, starts to have sex with her in a wolfman form. And this is when Mina sees it, and then Dracula's like, "You're not supposed to see this." And then, like, he just disappears, and then I guess it kind of wiped her mind a little bit. And
isn't this before he meets Mina in London? He hasn't met Mina yet, right?
Yeah, that's next.
So this is the first time she sees him.
Yeah, the first time she... Right. But he's all like, "You're not supposed to see this." And I guess...
Right, and then he wipes her mind.
Yeah, and he wipes her mind, kind of, and they both wake up thinking it was just kind of like a dream, like it never really happened for both of them. And then Lucy was saying, like, "I don't know why I was out here," like, because, like, Mina was like, "Oh, you're day walking again, like, it's dangerous when you do that." And she's like, "Well, I felt like somebody was controlling me and taking me out here." All right.
Yeah, because that's a big element in the book is that she sleepwalks.
Yes.
Well, Lucy does. So everybody just thinks she's sleepwalking at first.
So this is when we get a couple scenes going on at this time. The biggest thing is probably when we have the meeting finally of Vlad and Mina. Basically, it's implied right now that he could do the day walking. Okay.
Yes.
He could day walk, but his powers aren't like his powers during the nighttime. Okay.
Right.
Which I don't know about that. Like, I guess I like it, but I don't like it. But I don't know. What do you think? Like, day walking.
I like
vampires?
it better.
Yeah.
I like it better.
You could do more stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that
the sunlight kills you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. So now he's meeting her. He charms Mina a little bit. Like, he does like a little hypnosis on her a little bit. He tries to talk to her first about. Yeah. I kind of like this approach a little bit. Like, so he's like, "Look at me. All right." Yeah. And she looks at him and stuff. Well, and then he tries to go talk to her about, "Hey, where can I find this like place?" And she kind of like blows him off a little bit. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have offended you." He's like talking this like European accent. I'm like, this guy's using all the tricks. All right.
Well, yeah, he's way, way more charming than fucking Jonathan Harker is.
Oh, that's for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Why would you end up with Jonathan Harker if you could go with fucking Dracula? Yeah. Like, doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, I mean, he's a charming motherfucker.
So they eventually, start rubbing up on each other. You know what I mean? Kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll show you around. You seem like a nice guy. He also said he's a prince too. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So that helps as well. All right. So they go to.
Yeah, she got real interested at that point.
I know, exactly. She's like, "Oh, you're."
Yeah, when she found out he was royalty, she got real interested because the guy she's about to marry is just a real estate agent.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's Prince.
You know what I mean?
All right,
no, he's a prince. Man.
So they go to like this like movie where they're watching like this old school pop up movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this is when the scene where like I don't know. There's like a wolf that shows up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like showing danger and everything like that. And I thought it was a pretty cool scene with the wolf was like kind of like terrorizing this like little like tent and everything where everybody's in there. Yeah, it kind of like builds a relationship a little bit because he kind of like shuts off the wolf and everything, and then they kind of like grow a little closer together, like Mina and Vlad does. Okay. So let's see. So Mina is developing like feelings for Dracula over time. Like they drink absinthe together, which always does it. You know what I mean? They start chiming on each other a little bit. She keeps calling him my prince, my prince. But then she finally she finally gets word from Jonathan. All right, who basically he escaped Dracula's castle, and I like it. I like it where like he's getting like. So you're telling me. This guy is stuck in a cool vampire castle, getting non-stop sexual advances with 3 hot brides, and he wants to escape?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's kind of a, I don't know, what would you call him? He's kind of a straight-laced kind of guy. He doesn't want,
so he doesn't want that. He's all saying like, "Oh, I got to get out of here. The torture is just too much. I found a little water hole. If if I fall down there, I'll be okay. So that's what he does.
Right. And he's been there like a month.
Yeah. So he falls down this water hole and he gets basically he gets like rescued by like this like nuns. All right? And then that's when the nuns they give word. And basically what he's trying to do is he knows that Mina is being hunted by Dracula at this time. So what he wants to do is he wants to have Mina come to him and then they get married right away. Because that'll stop everything.
Because that'll stop everything. Because Dracula cares about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know. All right, back in the day, he would, I guess. All right. So, so now during all this stuff too, Lucy is slowly turning into a vampire. Okay, so she started having very erratic behavior. You know what I mean? Around her 3 boys. Okay, she wants to kiss one of them, marry one of them, destroy one of them. You know, and they all think she just gone a little crazy. You know what I mean? So they like some of them were like, we should put her out of her misery. I'm like, bro, this is definitely the time. All right. I was like, God damn. It's like, all right. Yeah, because they couldn't really figure that they couldn't really figure out the the symptoms. So I believe it was the doctor that she was fucking on, Arthur Hallman. He's the one who summoned Dr. Van Helsing. Okay, and this is when we finally get Anthony Hopkins' character. I thought he did a great Van Helsing. I always loved Anthony Hopkins. Pretty much everything this guy's in it. Everything this guy's in it is like fucking awesome. All right.
Yeah. The doctor is Seward, Jack Seward. He's the one that runs the mental asylum where he takes care of Renfield.
Yes.
Who's now insane.
Yes.
I did want to say that the performance of Tom Waits as Renfield in this is my favorite thing.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's so over the top.
Yeah.
Like he must have just said like, you know, take this to 11 and then turn it up again. He's just like, it's incredible.
I thought he looked crazy too with
incredible.
his little glasses and his hair and shit. I thought it looked pretty cool. So now we have so basically Helsing was Seward's mentor. All right.
Yeah.
And
yes, exactly.
he's teaching the class everything, and he gets a note from his study, so he goes down there. He starts to look over Lucy and stuff, and he's the one who realizes that, I see, she has been affected by the vampire disease.
Yeah, doesn't he? Right? Doesn't he call him originally because he's Van Helsing is an expert in blood diseases, and she's losing blood.
Yeah.
But he also happens to be an expert in vampirism as well, apparently.
Yes.
Which is very convenient for the situation that they're in.
Yes. So this is when he's kind of like, he's explaining Dracula to everybody. You know, he could appear young.
Yeah.
You know, so this Dracula has like everything that the lore of Dracula kind of has, even more. You know what I mean? This Dracula can appear young. He's old. He can appear young. He can shapeshift into different wolves, werewolves, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He can be mist. You know what I mean?
Or a bat.
Or a bat. He could do all that kind of stuff. All right.
And I think that doesn't Van Helsing say that that the vampire is Nosferatu?
Yeah, he does say that a couple of times.
Yeah, he uses that word. Yeah.
He uses it a couple of times.
And I'm pretty sure the word Nosferatu was invented by Bram Stoker, but I could be wrong. In the book, I think he implies that it's an old word for vampire. And I'm pretty sure he made that up, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know for sure.
So basically when Dracula Vlad realizes that Mina has left, because she left a note for him saying, "I'm sorry, my young prince, I've gone on to see Jonathan and get married." He becomes very upset, and this is when he actually finally transforms Lucy into a full-fledged vampire.
Yeah.
Out of his rage. Okay. So now we have Lucy basically going on a rampage, attacking. Van Helsing, Hallman, and Seward and Morris kill the undead Lucy the following night. They take her down. Basically how they do that was they thought she was like, dead, and then they buried her and everything. But then, like, you know, Van Helsing was telling us all about Dracula and stuff. So we, you know, and none of them really believed him about the whole Dracula stuff. But it was like, okay, well, let's go down and let's go visit, you know, Lucy's grave, where she was buried underneath a big tomb and everything. And when they got there, they opened up the thing. She wasn't in there. She came down looking all cool and shit like that, like an vampire, attacking them all, and they start fighting and everything. And eventually they spike her. Yeah. So really cool, like, fight scenes and stuff. I thought the Lucy character turning into a vampire was super cool. Like, I liked the way she looked, everything. I was digging it, the whole aesthetics of that. Right.
And then you have that ridiculous Van Helsing line where he says something like, "No, we're just gonna put a stake through her heart and cut her head off."
Yes, that's
what
you have to do.
Ridiculous.
Yes. Like we have to. That's the way you kill vampires. Is you got to stake through the heart and chop off their head, decapitate them.
Yes.
All right. So he said. So after Minnie, Jonathan and Mina returned to London. Okay, after getting married, Jonathan and Van Helsing lead the others to Carfax Alley, where they destroy the Count's boxes of soil. All right. So that's basically, you know, they come back. They all kind of explain to each other, like, who Dracula is and everything. At this time, like, Mina didn't know Dracula was her prince. All right. She just thought it was like some random vampire dude who basically ended up turning Lucy into a vampire and got her killed and everything. All right. And this is when, this is when Van Helsing's like, well, to tame him and stop this creature, we have to destroy his native land, his soil. All right, so what they're trying to do is they're kind of breaking up a little bit, and they're going to each of his estates to take out the soil so he has nowhere to sleep.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because he can't rest if he doesn't have the soil.
So, so they go in there, and you know we could see the crazy man. Was it J.H? You know, he's in the Ramsfield. He's in the asylum, and we see them kind of like going inside the abbey. The crew is like burning the soil. They're killing the coffin. Dracula comes there. He shows up. He could see it first, but then he goes to Renfield saying, "Why have you betrayed me? Why did you tell them where they're at?" He's like, "I didn't tell them where they're at anything." All right. So he eventually freaks out. He eventually dies. Then we see. Then I thought this part was this is some player shit right here. Okay. So while they got everybody here, right? They got fucking Jonathan here.
Yeah.
They got we got the Texas cowboy himself, Morris there. We have the doctor there. All right, we got Lucy's ex-husband there. They're all there to take care of Dracula, burn his soil, get rid of him and stuff. What does Dracula do? Does he try to fight them to destroy his native soil? No. What he does is he goes and while the boys are at work, he goes in and starts to go fuck on Mina.
Yes.
I was like, that's some player shit right there, brother. While the men are out there trying to kill him and find him and stuff, he's on there fucking the guy's wife.
Exactly. While they're out looking for his boxes of soil, he grabs Mina, Max on her, and then gets her to go back to Transylvania with him.
I'm like, so basically he gets there,
That's
right?
Player shit right there. Yeah.
And she's all like, "Oh, my prince." He's like, "Yeah, baby." And then like eventually he reveals that he's the vampire, everything. And at first Mina's all like, "You killed Lucy, you fucking asshole." And then she's like, "Make me one of you." I was like, "Well, that was easy."
That was quick. Yeah. At first he's like, "You killed my best friend, but I don't really care.
I don't care.
'Cause you're a prince.
You're a prince." So he's like, first he doesn't want to. First Dracula's like, "I don't want to make you be like I am, tormented, dominated soul, whatever." And at first, and she was basically like, "I don't give a fuck. Give me that titty."
Yeah, but what does he want though? Like, was he didn't want to make her like him? He says.
Well, if we're going off the Dracula for the game.
Okay, right.
So in Castlevania, actually, I like the way they did in Castlevania a little bit. All right, so in Castlevania, Dracula was, obviously Dracula, a killer, destroyer guy, but he met an alchemist, okay, which was the town healer, all right, and by meeting her and him, like wasn't afraid of him, when she met him the first time. And she knew all about science. She knew all about this technology. Obviously, Dracula in the games he's very into like alchemy and science and all kind of worldly stuff because obviously he had to fortify his castle and make all these demons to fight the the fight the you know the people and stuff, the humans and stuff. So he kind of fell in love with her, and he kind of liked her spirit a little bit, but he never turned her. He never turned her into a vampire. He always wanted to keep her as a human, and I don't think she even asked to be a vampire. She always wanted to be a human too. So that's when they made love, and they had the vampire human a la carte. All right.
Okay.
So in this film, apparently, it's a little different, brother. Mina wanted to be a whole vampire, to be the whole thing. But I was like, you know, I wanted to tell Mina through the screen, like, you know, there was like 4 other of you before you. Like, you're not going to be like an original. Like, what? I was just thinking, like, okay, Dracula's going to turn Mina into like the vampire queen or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, he already had vampire.
Love them.
Yeah, he didn't love them. Like, exactly. You know, same thing with the Dracula from the game. Like, he made a bunch of girl vampires and guy vampires, but he didn't love them. He loved the human girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, like, in that moment, Dracula was all like, I don't know if I should make you one of me, because, like, it's a weird life, and we're all weird. And then she's like, no, I'll take it. And he's like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Here's my titty.
Well, fuck it. Let's just do it. Yeah.
And then, like, so she's, like, turning and stuff. And then, like, they come in there and they break up the ritual. And then she kind of, like, regrets it. Mina does. Kind of.
She regrets, like, no, I think she's just acting like she does.
Okay, okay.
That's what I took out of it. Like, because she definitely, like, turns heel on them later on.
Yeah, she does turn heel. Yeah.
And joins Dracula. Like, you know, like, she doesn't want to. That's the only scene in the whole movie after this where she acts like she doesn't want to be a vampire. But I think she's just pretending at this point.
So, after, you know, this is kind of some of the dialogue. So, you know, Mina's furious about Dracula basically killing Lucy, but Mina admits that she still loves, and she actually remembers Elizabeth's previous life somehow.
Okay.
All right, at her, in her constant, she remembers it. Dracula begins to transform into a vampire. This is when the hunters break into the bedroom. Dracula claims that Mina has his bride before escaping. As Mina's changing, Van Helsing hypnotizes her, which I love that part. And he learns via her connection with Dracula that he is sailing home in his last remaining box. All right.
Yeah.
But that Van Helsing guy was hilarious. He's like, I'm hypnotizing you. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing. But yeah, the ending of this, as we're about to get to, is similar to the book, except in the book, Dracula's never in it again. Like, he's in a box, and they're basically transporting him back to Transylvania. Yeah. And the end of this movie is way more action filled than the book is.
Yeah, that's right.
I like the ending of this a lot better, where they're racing on the train and the horses and shit. Yeah. That was fucking cool.
Yeah, fucking cool.
But we'll get there. We'll get there in a minute.
So now the hunters are departing for Verna, all right, to intercept basically Dracula. But Dracula reads Mina's mind and evades them. All right, the hunters split up. Van Helsing and Mina traveled to Bargo Pass and the castle, while the others tried to go to Gypsies transporting Dracula. So they're both split up in different groups. So Van Helsing's with Mina. All the other hunters are going to kind of intercept Dracula.
I also love how Coppola gives us animations of the maps.
Yes.
So we'll know exactly how they're sailing and how each character is traveling. That's kind of cool, because I don't understand I don't even know where Romania is. So I don't, so this is like helping me like figure out how far they're going and why.
It's over there. That's where it's at.
It's over there. Yeah.
All right. So at night, Van Helsing and Mina are approached by Dracula's brides, which is a cool little scene. So did you see that scene where they're like coming up to Van Helsing and one's like seducing him, and Van Helsing just like kisses one of them. And then he just like denies it and just kills him.
Yes, it was great. Van Helsing is a badass.
So Mina scrubs to their chanting and attempts to seduce Van Helsing. Before Mina can feed on his blood, Van Helsing places a common wafer on his forehead, leaving a mark that shows his transformation. There you go, brother. All right, so now to do that, he also surrounds both of them in the ring of fire protection. All right, from the brides. Then he kills the brides following the morning time. Like, basically, like, what he did was, the brides were seducing Van Helsing, right? he was kissing on one of them, and then he realizes Mina's a little in danger, so he puts a little coin on him, gets them to go away a little bit, makes the ring of fire. They stay over until the morning time. In the morning time, Van Helsing just goes into them while they're sleeping, and he kills them all. Chops up all their fucking heads, takes their heads and throws them.
Exactly. It's awesome. Yeah. So he puts a communion wafer on his forehead, or on her forehead, which slows her. She's not becoming a vampire as much.
So now we have, now we're showing a big fight between the hunters and the Romanian. Morris is fatally stabbed in the back. All right. And Dracula brushes from his coffin at sunset. So basically, he's like in the coffin stuff, and he brushes up. So this is when we have Dracula come up in his really cool looking outfit. Kind of like has that like Japanese Romanian kind of like style to it. Very cool looking.
Yeah.
And this is when Dracula bursts from his coffin. Jonathan slits his throat with a knife, with that big ass knife that Morris had, that one. And while Morris stabs him in the heart with his knife, Van Helsing and Jonathan allow Mina to retreat with the Count while Morris dies in the arms of Seward, confronted by his friends. All right. So this is when, obviously after, Jonathan gets the upper hand of that. This is when Mina basically turns heel. It's like, I don't want to be with y'all. I want to be with my prince only.
Yes. Right? Yeah. And pulls a gun on him.
Yes. So now, and then this is when everybody kind of goes to Morris's aid, which Morris dies in here, but in the Castlevania, I believe it's in the Castlevania video game, there's the descendant from Morris goes on to fight Dracula.
Yeah, because he doesn't, none of these characters die in the book.
Yeah.
Except for Dracula.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the book, they split up into 3 groups, and I can't remember which 2, Harker and somebody else, finds Dracula's box, and then they just open up the box, stab him in the heart, and cut off his head, and that's it. He never comes out of the box again. Like once Dracula leaves England, to go back to Romania, he's never like a part of the story again. Really, like he never comes out of the box. Like they just find him in the box and kill him, and that's it.
Yeah. So basically, this one comes out. There's more action to it. Basically,
there's more action. Yeah.
So now Dracula is basically, stabbed, everything is cutting everything. He's basically back into like his demon looking form a little bit, kind of like his older demon form. Yeah. So he goes to the same chapel where he renounced God for the first time. Him and Mina share loving stories together. I cross oceans and seas to find you and all that stuff.
Yeah, great lines.
All kinds of great lines to him. They share a little kiss. All right. Then we have all the candles of the chapel light up, and the cross repairs itself. Dracula reverts back to his younger self, his Vlad self. He asks Mina to give him peace, and then Mina thrusts the knife through his heart, and he dies. Finally. Vlad Tepes, Dracula is dead.
He's dead. He'll never be back.
There was a mark on her forehead.
There'll never be another one. Yeah.
That we forgot to talk about. That basically it's a sign that she was like being taken over and shit. That's gone. Now she is fulfilling from the curse. She then decapitates him and gazes upon, Vlad and Elizabeth ascending to heaven together, finally reunited. So we never really know what happened to Mina after this. I guess she just, how do you explain to Jonathan what happened?
Exactly. You would think that she would go on to just marry Jonathan, but I don't know if she can come back from that.
Yeah.
Can you come back from leaving your husband to go become a vampire? I don't know.
Well, she could do the line that Jonathan gave when he was all like, yes, I was in that Dracula's castle, and those 3 brides were doing ungodly things to me that I did not enjoy.
Ungodly things.
That I did
at
not,
all.
That I guarantee I did not enjoy. Maybe she was all like, hey, you know what? I was seduced by this blind guy. Sorry. Still want to get married? There you go. Who knows, brother? Love conquers all.
It does.
Or love is the death of duty.
Ooh.
It's a Game of Thrones thing. Thank you. Anyway, everybody, thanks for joining us here on the 3rd annual Retro Blood Vampire Month. That was like duties months. They're very fun.
Yeah, I love Vampire Month. I look forward to it every year.
Vampire months are always very fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is our long discussion on Bram Stoker's Dracula. One of the, I would say definitely one of the most famous vampire films of all time. Very fun.
Absolutely.
So
classic.
I enjoyed it. I always like watching this movie. Like I said, it doesn't hit on everything. You know what I mean? but it hits on the right amount of stuff that I think is a very enjoyable movie that you could watch anytime. You know what I mean? So,
have you seen the Dario Argento Dracula?
No, but I thought I seen clips of it, but I bet it's awesome.
It is. It is.
I heard
awesome is one word for it. Yes.
I bet it's wacky, in a way.
It's absolutely batshit insane. Yes.
So, actually, Alison, we didn't talk about this, but I actually had a pretty good idea for next month. I was gonna do Evil Spirit Month because there's a lot, and they're all on Tubi, so we could find them pretty easy.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So I'll just tell them. So everybody, the Retro Blood moves on. We move on from romantic vampires, and we're gonna be doing a brand new month here in the month of March 2025, and we're gonna be talking about 1980s evil spirit movies.
Ooh, I love these
evil spirit movies. Now, the cool thing about this one, we're going to stay in the 80s for the whole month. Like we said, we're going to be majority doing. And most of these you can actually find on Tubi. There's a couple of them on Shudder too. But I think the first one we should do is a movie called Witchboard.
Ooh, I love this movie. Witchboard's a great film. Yeah.
I had one movie I was going to put on this. I'll say it now. We're not going to do it, but we're going to do it later. It's called Boogeyman. Yeah. But I want to say Boogeyman because there's a couple of them. All right, so we might say that for when we do a series long review stuff. But we're going to be doing Witchboard, the first one. So that should be pretty fun. But we got some pretty fun ones for you guys. Next week we will reveal all the remaining 4 movies that we're going to be doing for this month. It's going to be a big month. We got 5 reviews to do in March. But yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood. You can check us out, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts from. Doesn't matter if it's international podcasts or anything. We're always on there. We try to put them out every Sunday if we can. You know, minor some scheduling conflicts we have here and there. But yeah, like us on there. Comment below. See if we did a good job with this review or not. You know what I mean? See if we hit on the right points. I thought we did pretty good about talking about the main points of the Dracula.
Yeah, I mean,
the
show could have been way longer. It could have been 4 hours long.
Well, to be honest with you, we could probably do a whole podcast itself dedicated to Bram Stoker's, but we don't do that. We just come on here, have a good time, drink a beer.
Exactly.
So we don't really have. Maybe I'll play the main theme for our podcast people right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, just play something from the theme.
It's a great soundtrack.
Something from the soundtrack. Yeah.
Just think of everybody. You're all hearing this theme, and my precious Mina, I have traveled far through time and space to see you. I've come here to take you away from that generic actor Keanu Reeves and show you
very boring real estate agent.
Show you
come live in my castle.
Come and live in my castle with my 3 exotic brides who just want to transform and have sex.
Who I don't love at all.
I don't love it all, but I have them around because I'm a man, and you can pick. I won't fuck you like my werewolf. I only say that for my hoes, but I will make sure I'm in my prince form to have sex with you. All right. But
yes.
But that's how it is. That's how it is. That's basically the gist of the movie.
Basically, yes.
You know what I mean? So there you go, everybody.
That's why Dracula's a badass character.
That's why he's badass. All right, everybody. James Kline and J.H. Alison. We'll see you all next week for a brand new month here on the Retro Blood. We'll see y'all later.
Evil spirits. See you guys.
See you.